Now it's time for Straight on the Point with Jesse T. from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
Well, it's good to be back with you on a beautiful day in Southern California, moving and edging closer to Christmas. We're starting to count down those shopping days. It's going to be a different experience this year in shopping than any other time before. I know that because you can see the stores are not as crowded. Even the big popular box stores like Best Buys and Target, they're just not as crowded at this point in time like they have been in the past. Man, everybody is going online. And that's right where we are at on the Jesse T Show. We're online, and we're live, and we're ready. That's right, on the air and everywhere from the community to the world. It's Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, as well as our platform radiating off the power of voices.com, and on Instagram Live at Jesse Terrero, and YouTube channel Jesse Terrero, and the Power of Voices on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, and so many others. We're proud to have you guys share our show here on the afternoon drive. That's right. We are driving this afternoon, and the traffic really wasn't too bad today. That's one of the things that I was very surprised about, and the traffic was horrendous yesterday. Don't know if you heard across the nation, but we had a homeless guy on the Florence overpass. That's a overpass bridge that goes over the 405 freeway on the way to LAX International Airport. He held up traffic because he was hanging off the edge, thinking he wanted to kill himself. For 90 minutes he was hanging out there, and the police and the authorities knew all about this guy already because he had been in and out of jail locally for all kinds of vagrant things, and then of course he was kind of psychologically impaired, and so they had him dead to rights, but he was hanging there off the Florence Bridge, hanging about ready to drop down on the freeway. I thought they were going to bring out the big bag. Yeah, but they didn't. They somehow scooped him up. But 90 minutes, and that's why the freeway was so horrendous yesterday. I mean, I took the side street, back street action because I'm better than Waze or Google or any of those things because I've lived here for so long, so I know how to cut through the alleys and take the shortcuts around gas stations and 7-Elevens to get here. But every place was so crowded yesterday. I'd never seen it that crowded. The traffic was backed up all the way into the San Fernando Valley yesterday. And for those of you who don't know how far that is from Woodland Hills and Encino and the San Fernando Valley, you're looking probably about 35 miles. Of course, you know, it is a long way away in that respect when you're just driving it without traffic. But with traffic, can you imagine being in a 35 or 40 mile bumper-to-bumper traffic jam, and with only one way through from the San Fernando Valley to the Los Angeles Basin? It was insane. But today, it's been running great. It was running really perfect today. You can't imagine the difference and how nice it was. In fact, I left a half hour early thinking, well, I better get here because we have some guests that are supposed to show up today, but I'm sure they're stuck somewhere because you never know what's going to happen when you get on these highways and byways of Los Angeles. But I got here in time, got here in great time. In fact, I didn't know what to do with myself. I mean, I was like, what do I do now? You know, I mean, it's not nighttime. I can't go, you know, have a party in my pants yet. Ah, yes. Thank you very much. But we are here nevertheless, and it's good to have you along with me, Jesse T, every Monday through Friday from 5 to 6. A couple of things coming up here. Of course, if you watch TV and you're into parades, the Christmas Day Parade in Hollywood is coming up. That was pre-taped about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, and we were out there. So look for Dan the Man and I, Jesse T, putting our mug in places perhaps mischievously it shouldn't be put in, but we had to get some TV time, you know, on network TV. So hopefully we weren't ended up on the editing room floor, which I've ended up many times on the editing room floor over the years, but hopefully that worked out okay. But look for that coming up here. They're going to be broadcasting that. I believe that's on the 21st of December, and the Santa Claus Hollywood Christmas Parade, the 87th annual Christmas Parade. Eric Estrada was the host and the one of the very important people sitting up there in the grandstands waving at everybody. And we had an opportunity to talk with him. So you can check out the Jesse T Show at YouTube channel, Jesse Torero, and look for that show as it was being shot. We were out on the red carpet, Dan the Man and I, doing our thing like we always do. Got to say thank you to Roger Neal for yesterday. Alex, America's pianist, what a terrific young man he is. I had the opportunity, he left some of his music with us, and I've heard about half of it. It's just terrific, man. That guy bangs that piano like it's unbelievable with the sounds he can make coming out of that piano in his musical ministry. And I thought it was really interesting on what he did across the world and what he's been doing for 20 years. And that is, he's a classically trained artist, but also trained in jazz and has been trained in music school. But he's a minister as well. So he's combined that and has brought the message to all kinds of places around the world. So he was just terrific. And we're going to have to play some more of his music. He's got a CD of love songs that he did, about 14 or 15 love songs. So Alex Zolt, good to have him on, and we got to thank Roger Neal for setting that up for us. Just a programming a piece of information. On Wednesday next week, we have Janine Kasem is going to be with us. She's going to be on the air and everywhere with us. That's me, Jesse T, talking about Casey Kasem's death. Now, Janine is the wife of Casey Kasem, even to this day. They never got divorced. This was his second wife and his long-term marriage of over 35 years, I believe. And so she's going to be on talking about some of the charges that have been railed now and are being investigated, reopened completely for the murder of Casey Kasem, the voice of America. For those of you who are too young to know Casey Kasem, he was the voice of American Top 40 way before Ryan Seacrest, way before Shadow Stevens, way before anybody. He was the guy that did that for about 35 years. And American Top 40, this is Casey Kasem, counting down the hits every week. And he was listened to and heard around the world. In fact, I met him when I was a little boy. And I met him at Armed Forces Radio because he had a show that broadcasted out to all of our military men and women here in the United States and around the world on Armed Forces Radio. And that's where I met him when I was a little boy through my godfather, Harry Newman, Country Music Hall of Fame disc jockey and radio personality. And then I got to, of course, run into Casey over the years, being in the radio and TV business, as long as I have been. Met him at different conventions and went out and, saw him at different voiceover reads. He was the voice of Scooby-Doo. For those of you who liked Scooby-Doo, he was the voice of Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Where Are You? And so that was Casey Kasem. So he, in 2014, passed away. Now, he had some natural causes to his death. Some of those natural causes were things to do with his nervous disorders. He was getting something related to MS, as in that family, that group of nerve diseases. My mother passed away of ALS, and that's in that group as well. And he was slipping pretty quickly, and there became a big squabble about his care, how he was being taken care of. The marriage of Casey Kasem to his first wife bore 3 children, and those 3 children are adults, not 20-year-olds, but 30 and 40-year-olds. And they contested that his current wife, Janine, wasn't taking care of him properly, and there ensued a big fight. And really, the big fight was about his $80 to $100 million estate. That really was the big fight. That's what it was all about. And the first children born to Casey Kasem, the eldest daughter, she is a Scientologist. Now, you can take that for what you want to take it for. If you know anything about Scientology, I engage you to go and Google search that or look for it, because Scientologists have a definitely different outlook on life than what most normal people have in terms of the general population. I love when I'm walking down Hollywood Boulevard ever. They have a big Scientology building there. I just love messing with those Scientologists trying to recruit people out front. I just love giving them a hard time. It's so fun. It's just something that Jesse T likes to do when I'm down there walking by him. But nevertheless, there ensued a big fight. And so Casey was eventually put to rest, and the fight got worse. And now there are murder charges, the investigation of murder charges that Casey was murdered by the daughters of the children of the first marriage. And so there's some breaking stories here that are happening. If you saw the 48 Hours show, and they did a big expose and reporting of this, looking at all of the parties involved. We're going to talk to Janine Kasem and get her point of view. And up there in Northern California, where the county DA has taken over the case, because there's enough evidence now for the DA to look at it and decide whether or not a murder charge will officially be brought against the children of the first marriage of Casey Kasem. So we're going to get an update about that, and that's happening right here on the Jesse T Show. It's an exclusive, and we're going to get that update sometime on Wednesday. We're going to talk to her probably around 10 minutes after 5 or so, and talk to her for about a half hour about the whole case. And come on in here, guys. Have a seat. Sit down. Grab who wants the red mic and who wants the orange mic. Peach and apples. Apples, peaches, and herb. I like that. That's right. But so we're going to be talking with Casey Kasem's wife next week about the new investigation of the murder of Casey Kasem. And then after that, we have a terrific actress who is now part of the cast of the terrific biker show that you guys are just loving so much. And that's the one that has a lot of Hispanic and Latino stars in it. Man, they are taking over TV. Man, I think brown hair and brown eyes, I got that. Yeah, when I first started, it was blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, but now I'm brown. So maybe I should get more of a tan and change my name to Gonzalez. That's what I should be doing, right? Yeah, possibly. Right? No? Nothing, Lee? Nothing's happening there? No. No comment? You're ignoring me again? My goodness.
That's my job.
Well, we just got two people that just walked into the studio. No, we don't sell Tommy's hamburgers here, but we do sell Der Wiener Schnitzel hot dogs.
I'll take 2.
2 with chili on it, onions and cheese?
Absolutely.
I need vegan.
Oh, vegan? Oh, my. Look at special order here. Okay, no problem. I'll give you some turkey dogs. No, that's not vegan.
Yeah.
Is that close enough?
It's close enough.
How about some spinach dogs?
That sounds good.
Yeah?
Spinach dogs. Wow.
Yeah, I
That's
just
innovative.
wait a minute. I think we're going into business together.
Jesse, we might have something here.
Spinach dogs. That's better than wiener dogs.
Yeah, it's healthier, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's
We got
true.
plenty of traffic going through here. We could put up a neon sign. We'll be in business. We'll be all right.
Look at, man, I like this guy already. He's a money-making machine. I mean, if you catch him on their YouTube show, introduce yourselves, will you?
What's up? What's up? This is Daniel Lear, writer-director.
And I'm Bayou Bennett, writer-director, co-director, writer with Daniel.
And I am Bayou Bennett.
That's right.
Yes, aha! That's right. The Jesse T humor is taking over the place. So tell me, you guys, with your entrepreneurial spirit, you have got huge YouTube audiences. So I think I am going to go into business with you, and we're going to put a big sign out front.
I love it. I love it.
So-
you're actually next to this famous diner over here. They shot
Yes.
some movies over here.
The Dinosaur Diner?
Diners, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, Dinosaur, but they're expensive.
Oh,
Man, you can't go in there for breakfast for $60 for two
man.
people. Yeah, I'm not kidding you, man.
Wow.
$65.
wow, man.
Yeah. Look at, man, I'll go to the King Taco truck and get a couple tacos for 79 cents before I do. But they're good food. It's good food. It's wholesome, old style cooking food.
Oh,
You
wow.
can't find those coffee shops anymore in Los Angeles. But Dinah Shore, that was originally a Dinah Shore franchise. The Dinah Shore started that franchise. They don't remember her. No, they don't.
Well, tell us about her real quick.
Dinah Shore was see, you don't remember the Dinah Shore show?
No, man.
I say that 5 times real fast. Dinosaur show, dinosaur show, dinosaur show.
What year was that?
That was in the 1950s.
Cool, man.
And she was a big star, singing star. She was from the South, and she had a movie career. And she was a huge TV singing star. And she had her own show for like 20 years, the Dinosaur Show.
Wow.
And every star, like Ed Sullivan and like Dean Martin's show, and like Frank Sinatra's show, variety show. Everybody was on Dinosaur Show, and she was a Southern belle. with the blonde hair and the light eyes, good old Southern belle. I think she was maybe from Alabama or maybe
He's from
Mississippi.
Arkansas.
Yeah, from Arkansas?
Yeah.
You guys have your own language in Arkansas.
Yeah,
Well,
but I lost it. I don't have that.
You don't have it anymore?
I didn't
Man,
want it.
Not
to say anything bad.
Forget about it. I say anything I want to say. It's my
That's
show.
right.
That's right. If you really hear somebody speak from Arkansas who has never left the state of Arkansas and lived their whole life there, ducking tornadoes in Arkansas, then you have not heard language, the American language, like any other place in the world. Arkansasian, or whatever they call it, man, that's a language.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you get an Arkansas and an Alabama and a Mississippi together, it's like French, German, and Polish. Nobody understands anything.
Well, you got to go to her little town. It's so beautiful. They
Yeah.
call it Little Switzerland.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, it's
Yeah,
so beautiful
Eureka
there.
Springs,
Eureka Springs,
Arkansas.
Arkansas. It's
Yeah.
like a very artistic town.
Is it like?
It's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Is it all arts, like painters and sculptors
Yeah.
and that kind of
That's
artistic?
right. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Not so much actors or musicians, but more of the artisan kind of.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about your show. You guys, we got a couple videos we're going to play. Lee, we got to play a couple videos here at some point or another. I mean, where'd you go? Oh, you're going to King Taco? Okay, good. Thank you.
Jesse, I feel like I instantly, as a documentary filmmaker, want to roll a camera on you. You're a very interesting guy.
Oh, well, thank you. That's what I keep telling Mama T at home. I'm really interesting. I'm really interesting, honey. Jump in the shower with me. I got to go to work. Oh, and Lee says I have to have the tender touch.
Oh my God.
Oh,
The
man.
tender touch, yes. Mama T's been in my life for a long time. I've been trying to get rid of her for 43 years, since I was 15.
Wow.
I'm just having no luck. You got any hints? How you can help me? I left the country, went to 43 nations and 300 cities trying to get away from her, and I never could.
Mamas don't go away.
Well, that's Mama T. Yes. Last night I did sleep in the doghouse. On the couch. That's a regular place for me. Absolutely. So you've got this great YouTube show, and we're going to play one of the trailer clips in a second, one of the little teaser things you
Cool,
guys
man.
put together. We got a couple of those lined up. And but tell me about this. Your show is, guys, their show is ever so popular. It's called The Dream Team. The Dream Team.
State.
The
The Dream State.
Dream State,
Yeah.
right? And it's sort of like, it's like they're interviewing all these great stars, all these people that had some sort of contribution towards their art. They may be very popular people, young people getting their first time break as they're moving up the chain, or they may be artists like graffiti artists or things like that that have really made their mark in their communities, but not too many people are aware of them, but they're still out there doing their thing. That's really a cool idea. How did you come up with this?
Well, you know, like Bayu and I have been working together as filmmakers. We're actually a husband and wife team, and we met in 2007 at a vegetarian cafe on the Lower East Side. She was coming out of a yoga class. I was sitting there with my veggie dog, actually.
Yeah.
And I think ever since we started working together, we're like, you know what, art and film are so important. But I feel we felt so many filmmakers and artists, they didn't have a roadmap on how to get to where they wanted to get to with their dream.
Right.
So that's why we created the Dream State, right, Bayu?
Yeah, and we mentor a lot of filmmakers,
Right.
you know, and we've been doing this for many years. So we want to help other artists because we think they're the most important people. They literally uplift society.
Well, they can with their storytelling
That's
and,
right.
and their artwork and their paintings and things like that. Because we had a terrific artist in here yesterday. His name is Alex Zolt. Okay, and he's America's pianist for 20 years. It's musical ministry.
Wow.
And he preaches through the music. He ministers through his music around the world.
Yeah.
That boy can bang the piano too, man. And he was terrific. But you see, there's an artist there that may not be somebody you recognize like Ray Charles, a great pianist or something like that. But yet he's been banging away for 20 years very successfully in churches and in regular venues too as well.
Yeah.
And that's a guy that, you know, is there doing his thing, making a difference in people's lives.
That's right.
But maybe not everybody knows who he is.
Right. Right.
And so that's something that I think is probably right up what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We're basically trying to find people with really powerful journeys, interesting stories, people that overcame a lot of obstacles.
Right.
You know, a story that stands out is Chaz Bohorquez. He was basically a graffiti artist, you know, at the very beginning of graffiti, where it wasn't even considered an art. They called it garbage art.
Right.
You know, like he was rejected by the whole Chicano art scene.
What do they puedes say? Hey.
Right?
Yeah.
So he just kept going and going, and for like 20 years, he didn't have an audience. He was just doing it in the LA River.
Right.
And now he's all over the world doing his work.
Yeah, well, I can relate to him because, you know, for a lot of years, I was an artist in everybody's garage.
Right.
You know, and that. And I was an artist at running away really fast, too.
Yeah.
And jumping walls to not get caught.
You're a tiger?
Oh, man, I was everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool, man.
I've gotten into every mischievous fun you can ever believe. And I'm still getting into mischievous fun.
Well, you know what? That's really important because life should be interesting and it should be wild, right?
Yeah, it's a wild ride, that's for sure. Hey, Jesse T Show with you. And we're going to play this first video. Now, this is on your PR person, Camille. Love her.
She's amazing.
She's just amazing. Jasmine and her whole group over there are just great.
Love them.
Just kick butt.
Just kicking butt now. And we have a teaser of the show.
Yes.
And so this is the first one that she put in line with us. Now, I don't know if you know which one this is, but it's a teaser of the show. So something you guys put together. Because you are filmmakers, too.
Yeah.
You're just not crazy talk show hosts like me.
Yeah,
Right.
right. Yeah, we're award-winning filmmakers for multiple times, working with celebrities and actually doing music videos, documentaries, commercials, and all of them have some sort of a message. In fact, do you want to tell them about Mark Ruffalo?
We were just
I like Mark. I know Mark.
He's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
We were just
Cool.
actually driving by here on the on Sepulveda,
Right.
and there's a huge oil field there.
Yeah.
We actually shot this whole piece there with Mark, and he was basically, fighting for low-income communities that live next to oil and gas facilities that are
Right.
getting totally poisoned by these places.
Yeah, yeah.
And just all about, we got to get away from oil and gas. We got to get away from oil specifically, and get more into renewable energy.
That'll never happen.
Well, right now we're actually 40% in Southern California renewable
That's
energy.
just Southern California.
By 2030, we're going to get up to 80%.
That's just California. But that'll never happen because the big oil companies don't want it to happen because they rule the banks and industry. They rule the insurance companies. They rule the IMF, the WHO. They rule all the Federal Reserve banks and centralized banks in the world.
But you know what?
And that's the problem. It's oil.
But you know what? Even in the middle of the country, the system's changing. The mind state is changing.
You know,
People want
I hope so.
hybrid cars. They want electric cars.
Yeah. Mhm.
The world is changing. It's shocking. It's amazing.
I hope so. I hope it goes that route, and we do get more of that because those darn cars get 50 miles to a gallon.
I know.
I mean, are you kidding me? But they had that technology. Look at this is the true fact. Ford, when he was making Fords, right?
I know.
He made his estate, where his estate is, used to have 100 acres of land around it when he built his estate. And he planted hemp. He had hemp trees that were 20 feet high through his whole 100-acre estate.
Wow.
And he built a hemp car, 2 of them, completely out of hemp.
Running on hemp?
Running? No, just not running on hemp.
But out of hemp.
He built hemp fenders, hemp windshields, hemp steering wheels, hemp seats, hemp springs, hemp tires. The car was 100% hemp. He mixed the hemp with certain plastics of the time that were new.
Innovator.
He mixed the hemp with certain metals like aluminum with it to give it some more strength for the fenders and the doors and latches. And he had a hemp car that got 300 miles to a gallon.
What?
And he drove it to work every day.
What?
And it wasn't like, orderly, man, cheeching chong and up and smoke and say. It wasn't like, oh, man, the reefer, right? It wasn't that thing, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good, man, right? You know? Right? It wasn't that. But he actually drove that car to work every day, and he made another one, and then he shut it down. Because the gas mileage, because he went into business with the oil companies. Rockefeller funded Ford. Did you know that?
No.
Yes. And Rockefeller was the king of oil.
Wow.
Damn.
Yep.
And
So just because of that connection,
Yes.
we're like suffering here all these years later.
Yes.
Wow.
And this is back in the 1920s.
Yeah.
1920 to 1930.
It's interesting, Jesse. You know, I heard a different story than that actually at the time when Prohibition was happening and he could have decided between gasoline and ethanol, which is corn-based. It's like alcohol.
Yeah.
And so they decided not to go that route because of what was going on politically,
well,
in
because
society.
Well, hey, when you have to pay the piper and it's John D. Rockefeller, and he wants his money for the money he invested in your company when you started and nobody else would, you're going to do what he tells you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, in that respect. So anyway, I just tossed that in there.
That's
Sorry
cool.
about
That's
that.
very interesting.
So tell me about this teaser. Tell me about you put this thing together. It's a bunch of young artists, but that's what you guys do. You highlight cool people.
Yeah, like we've had some amazing people on the show, right?
Who?
But who have been some of your favorites?
Well, Jason Doring, the actor from iZombie, he's incredible. He gave great tips to actors.
Right.
And then we had Wordsmith. Wordsmith is going to be a future episode. He's the guy that you see the poetry around town and the tagging. And then
Nolan Bushnell.
Nolan Bushnell, he did.
Founder of Atari.
And
I
Chuck
saw
E. Cheese.
that one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man. I like the quote he said.
Which one?
The one he said where he said our daily thought and philosophy was
We're not going to be as crappy last year.
We're not going to be as crappy last year as we were, or yesterday as we are today. Right. I love that. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
It's true.
Right? The problem is I'm as crappy as I was last year anyway. I got more crap coming out of my head because my eyes are brown and my hair is too. It just doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what that works out to be. So yeah, he was terrific.
Yeah.
I mean, Atari of all things.
Oh
Yeah.
man, we've been long time Atari fans. Grew up with that. Because what was interesting with Nolan is that like, okay, how do you come up with a creative idea, but then how do you turn it into a global brand?
Yeah.
What steps do you have to actually take to do that?
Yeah, and that was huge, man. The Commodore 64, Ataris, Commodore 64, all before Apple, or right about the time Apple was just predecessing Apple, about that time.
Yeah.
All that stuff was happening.
Right.
I had a Commodore 64.
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, but I turned it into a Commodore 12 because I wrecked all the keys. So, yes, play this video here. This is a teaser from your show, and they can see it anytime it's podcasted. But is it live? Do you go live ever?
No, it's not live.
So you record it?
Where's it by you?
Well, Dream Team Directors YouTube. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Dream Team Directors YouTube. Check out this.
This show we're trying to help young artists up and coming. So can you talk about
just artists in general?
Artists in
who might need to be revitalized.
Revitalized, that's right. Can you talk about like your like what you think might have been like your lucky break, or how one can create that lucky break?
I guess a piece of advice I would give is not to rely on luck or the lucky factor of it, because it happens. I worked with someone whose first audition he booked, and it was a series regular on our show, and that's amazing, and that happens for sure. But I think that there's a lot of hard work that goes into it, and it's not an overnight thing. It's not something that is just going to happen. Like you're like, okay, I want to be an actor, and the next day you're winning an Oscar or something. It's just not as easy as that. So I think just for young artists in general, whether you're an actor or a musician or anything, is I think just really doing your research on the field and the industry, and that's both creative and the business side as well, of like figuring out, okay, so what's an agency, what is that, how do I get one, and then really looking at different sources too, not just looking at one source, and figuring that out, and then watching movies if you're an actor, like just watch movies that you're in love with and know what's happening in your industry and like figuring that out, taking classes if that's something that you want. You know, you're the one who's in charge of your success.
You can do your art and you can love your art, but you have to combine that with business and marketing.
You do.
All right, man, the dream state, that's just a little piece of the action that goes on.
That little girl's amazing, man.
Isn't
She
she?
just co-starred in a movie with Nicole Kidman.
I mean, can you
Pettyjohn,
figure?
She's amazing.
I mean, wow, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get this role, and your opposite is going to be Nicole Kidman. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you go up the chops with Nicole Kidman?
Serious.
I mean, how do you, especially if you're doing a scene with her, and especially if it's a master shot and they're both in the same shot, right?
Right.
How do you, it's like, right? Absolutely. So as filmmakers and music video makers, when you approach that and you're using actors, and I suppose you give a lot of people their first shot. You work with a lot of youngsters as well. Do you find it easier to work with people that are just coming up, or people that, because they're more malleable, you can adjust them, or people that kind of have been around for a while?
What do you think, buddy?
Well, I think it's both have benefits. The ones that are coming up, it's easier to work with, and we're really good at helping them turn into superstars. In fact, we turn a lot of them into superstars.
Right, I read that.
Yeah. So, but I think I really work well with all types of actors. You know, the top celebrities to the young guys, and we co-direct, and I work a lot with the actors, and Daniel does a lot of the cinematography, aspects, the camera and the movement and the styling and that type of thing. So.
Is it work out better that you guys have this simpatico going on, because you're dealing with the equipment, the camera, the cinematography, and you're kind of dealing with the setup and the scene and the look, and do you have this unconscious kind of behavior that goes on where you can kind of look at each other and get a message across, or is it like, "Rawr, cats and dogs"?
No, it's like, it's crazy. You worked with someone who your idea just contributed to their idea, and their idea contributed to your idea. It's kind of a miracle. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And what's really cool when you're co-directing is that when shit starts hitting the fan, you can split up.
Yes.
For example, the sun's going down, so she can go over and direct some kind of like drone shot.
Right.
And I could do some other kind of scene. So sometimes, you shoot these like sometimes 17-hour days.
Yeah, I know.
And so one person could take a break for a second, the other person could, deal with it. But if everything's on your own shoulders, it gets more challenging.
And I'll give you guys a piece of advice, man.
Yeah.
Okay? I've only been doing this since Moses walked the earth. Okay?
Okay.
All right? But he's been doing it since we came out of caves. So I just, yes.
Before.
Before he came out of caves. That's right. So look just feed me well and I'll do anything. Thank you. No pizza, no fat burgers. Get some food on that set, and you got me for 4 days.
It's true.
Hey, man, if you can't pay people, feed
You're
them well, right?
Yeah, you're so true.
Isn't that the truth,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just feed me, baby.
Yeah.
That's right, because I haven't eaten in 6 weeks.
Do you love food, Jesse?
I love everything.
Okay, cool.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I even love you now.
Oh, sweet, man. Thanks.
Sweet.
It's all right.
We love you
gotta
too.
have a blonde wig. The red hair's not. I'm not into it though. Okay. The Scott Irish thing is cool. I like the gig and the beard, kind of the rough look. Yeah, baby.
He's Israeli.
Right. Oh wow, Israeli, Jewish. I don't care what you are, man. You can be French, German, Israeli, French, German, Jewish, African American, Israeli. I don't know. It don't matter to me. Kind of cute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I want you to know, she's a lot cuter.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. Thank you.
That's right. Mama T, I want to come home. Okay, please. That's right. So, but that relationship you guys have had, that adds to the flavor of what comes out at the end. I think it's different than if it's just you doing the whole thing or you doing the whole thing. You get that combination, and you can see the difference.
That's right.
Let me talk about like you playing the female characters. I'm playing the male when we write our script.
Yeah, when we co-write, it's very much like I bring in real life experience. And if he was just writing it, he may not know how the female character would feel, and vice versa. Same with the guy, and he writes that role. And we're really good at that.
Yeah, so you and that's the mix at the end, and especially when you start talking small little genres like music videos, which you have 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, bang, and you got to get that story in the lyric first off, you got to figure out what the story is in the lyric, because they make the lyric and they make the song usually before they make the video, or about the same time. They don't make the video first, then make the song.
That's true.
So now you got to fit the story within the lyric rather than fitting the story up here and then it comes out in the words. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
So you have a short period of time to do that, and so that combination, it probably works to the benefit rather than one person.
I think so.
Music videos are cool, man.
Yeah, we're about to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, they're very experimental. I think you would. I think you'd be very good at it because you seem like you have a lot of wild ideas.
Lee, what do I say to that? Huh?
You're right.
Thank you. This guy was holding up the 405 freeway yesterday, and it was a nightmare getting here. It was a vagrant hanging off the Florence Bridge onto the 405 freeway, deciding whether or not he wanted to fall and kill himself on the freeway,
Jesus.
right? So he held up traffic all the way back to San Fernando on the 405 freeway. That's a long way.
Damn.
And I hit the freeway in Burbank, right?
Yeah.
Coming my normal time, and I get there, and Florence is over here, kind of that way from us. And so I thought to myself, what in the world's going on? Man, why don't they bring out the big airbag that they have, right?
Yeah.
And then they could have 500 midgets. I know I'm not politically correct, but everybody knows I'm not politically correct. But 500 little people carrying the airbag, it could be like the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus trying to catch this guy with 500 midgets holding the airbag. What a scene that would be.
Totally.
Would that be totally funny?
Hell yeah.
Right?
Guy would be dead before the bag and the little people.
It's just
That's
a
true.
spectacle of them running around here. Little people with the big, huge, giant airbag. Okay. Thank you. I used that one to talk myself out of a ticket. That's all right. So what's next?
What's next?
Well,
What's next?
Well, we're about to release a Jessie Chris video. It's a music video, and she's all about anti-bullying, and we put a beautiful message in it, and it'll
Jessie
be
Chris?
Yeah. She's the top Billboard artist.
I like her.
Yeah, she's a country singer, top
Yes,
Billboard artist.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that.
We're about to go to the Philippines in January.
Philippines are
That's
cool. I've been
huge.
there.
Have you
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, many times. Cebu,
Wow.
Davao, Manila.
Nice. Yeah,
They got
Manila,
90 islands there, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Where are you going, to Manila?
We're going to Manila. We're doing a film about a humanitarian message film about the 10,000 families who live in the cemeteries of Manila,
Yeah.
and about a woman who only cares about herself, and then she comes to change their lives.
Well, that's a great film.
Yeah.
So
Thank
you
you.
do documentaries too.
That's
Yeah.
a documentary. That one's actually based on real life experience.
Right.
It comes from real life about an anonymous donation
Mm-hmm.
that we heard about in the Philippines of a schoolgirl who got to go, get all her education from an anonymous donor. But that is a film we actually wrote a script for with
Really?
a friend
Yeah.
of ours, Fraser from England. He's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do people find you to do these things, or do you actually go out searching for things like this to do, or does it just kind of happen out of the blue?
Well, that one, it was interesting because the lead, they found us as
Right.
music video directors,
Right.
and we did that. Then we were hired to go to the Philippines and do a documentary about kind of her husband does. It's kind of like Doctors Without Borders, where he goes and donates his time to the people in need. And then we wrote the script, and she loved it, and she funded it. And so, that's how that unfolded.
Well, that's a big portion right there, funding it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I like that.
That's right. Yeah.
You got to have some money, man.
You got
That's
to.
right.
You got to. Things
Otherwise,
don't
you're
happen.
shooting with Polaroid cameras.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. So that's cool. Then she looks for you. She's got a little bit of budget.
Yeah.
Man, could it be a better life or what?
You know
No.
what? It's a huge blessing, Jesse, to be able to have ideas in your mind and visions in your mind, to be able to make them a reality.
Do you believe in manifestation, where if you think of something, it happens?
Absolutely.
Or do you believe that things happen because they're supposed to happen that way?
No.
Or do you believe that hard work is the only thing that creates something to happen?
I think the first step is manifesting with positive thoughts.
You think so, huh?
I know so.
Yeah?
'Cause-
Tell me why you know.
Because I do it all the time.
Yeah?
I write down my
Okay.
goals,
All right.
and they come true.
I want to win the California lottery. Okay? I'll share it with you. But don't tell Red over here. Okay? Shh. Don't want nobody to know. Okay?
Okay, so
Positive
that
thoughts.
Yeah, no, okay, so it's...
I'm sorry, I just wanted to smell a perfume.
Good, man.
Okay.
That's sweet. So, Jesse, it is positive thoughts, but the second thing you said is positive thoughts going into action. Like, and also not having any negative thoughts or being stronger than others.
You get him to pay for the ticket.
Okay. The lottery ticket.
How many, though, Jesse?
Oh, darn it, I'm not getting specific enough.
You have to get
You have to
specific.
be very specific.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
So when you ask for something, you have to ask for it in a specific way?
Yeah,
Well,
for
yeah,
example, give you an
that's
example.
right.
You're like, I want to meet a great girl. Okay. But
This
then,
is a true story.
Is
Tell
this
the true story.
Okay, I want to know the
it
true
should
story.
be, I want to meet a great girl who started her high school drill team, dance team,
Yeah.
who is also a professional dancer, who also is interested in filmmaking, who wants to change the world, who is funny,
Yeah.
who is cute, who has a big imagination, who has
Yeah.
a big heart,
Right.
who likes fashion, who likes style, who likes to travel.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's more specific. So
Boy,
you got
you
to
are
be really
getting really
specific about.
specific.
You got to be really
That's
specific
me.
about what you want.
Right. And so you were thinking about this,
Yeah.
right? And you know,
I actually wrote it out, man.
you were on a yellow pad.
Yeah, I wrote it out.
Man, he went legalese on me, man. He went yellow pad.
And
I
here's
like
even
that.
wilder.
Yeah.
I was over on... Okay, so
Wait a
we
minute. Were you?
I wrote down my ideal person.
And he
And-
wasn't around yet.
No, we met. Okay, get this. We were on the Lower East Side, New York. And,
I know it well.
Yeah, okay, so I was on...
Used
what
to hang out
street?
in all those old buildings.
Oh,
Jesse.
This is a crazy...
She lived on 11th Street between B and C, and I did too.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't
You know
meet.
where that?
We didn't
You know
meet.
where that is, Lee? Right?
It's a
Lower East Side.
Lower East Side.
Village,
Yeah,
yeah.
East
When
Village.
it all used to be, it's not like it is today.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah.
So then I had another boyfriend at that time, and so
Right.
we didn't meet.
Right.
Okay, then I moved in different places, and then I moved to Norfolk, and he was on Suffolk. We
Get out.
met
Right next to each other.
Right
Get
next
out
to
of
each
here.
other. We met right before I went to the Middle East. I was a teacher of
Right.
filmmaking, and there was there was one table, and I sat down and I sat next to him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm doing documentaries." I was like, "Me too," and I put Daniel Editor on my phone. And
That's
then
where I started in this relationship.
You're Daniel Editor.
Yeah.
Daniel Editor for years.
Well, that's better than being Daniel the Jerk.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. So he reached
Or
out to me.
Daniel owes me money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
I got promoted, Jesse.
That's
Yes,
right.
Daniel the Editor. I like that.
Yeah.
So I say like 6 months later, a big pursuing, and I say Bill Clinton got us together.
Bill, Slick Willie Billy?
So Bill Clinton. So he
Whoa.
literally. I was doing a documentary on my father, who's a musician from the South, and he knew Bill Clinton when he was.
played with him in a
he played
band.
with him in a band,
What?
and I was like, Daniel, like we got to go meet
Yeah,
Bill
because
Clinton.
Bill Clinton, Slick Willie was a party boy in college. He liked to party.
Yeah.
No, he did.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
historically. Oh, yeah,
Wow.
he was
Wow.
a party boy.
Cool.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Not me. I didn't party.
You go to college
I didn't party.
because you're a numbnut.
Listen, my nuts are my nuts are all.
That's why you don't have any friends.
Well, my nuts are always numb. What can I tell you? You know? That's why I moved out to California, so they at least heat up once in a while, for God's sakes.
That's right.
Jesus Christ. Please help me, Lord.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, okay, so,
Oh, so-
I'm sorry, I got sidetracked on numb nuts.
It's okay.
It happens to me sometimes.
It's okay. So I just said he was gonna.
Love it.
This is a wild ride. That's for sure.
The Jesse T show is always a wild ride.
It is fun.
You never
Thank
know
you
where
for
I'm going to
having
go.
us.
No, I can have anytime you got an open ticket. It's going to cost
Yeah.
you $36.22.
Wow.
And I want the 22 cents.
Okay, you got
I
it.
mean it. You think I'm joking? I want my 22 cents. Okay, sorry. I had a split personality thing going on there. So come on, keep telling me.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is a great
okay,
story.
okay, so then-
Norfolk, Southfolk.
Yeah. Okay. So then I was like, Daniel. He was pursuing me for like 6 months. It was a 6-month courtship.
You were
Yeah.
dogging
was
it,
rough,
man.
man. It was rough,
Just
man.
like, oh man, she's coming down the stairs now. I'm going to look like I'm busy. I'm busy. Right? Oh, okay. Here she. Oh, you're here.
Jesse, she had this like magical card, you know, like after a date, you'd go to the door, her front door, and I'd be like, so. And she'd be like, pull out this card, be like, shh, the door opens. She's like, disappeared, man.
Oh man,
Yeah, because I didn't. You know,
you had all the defense
That's
mechanisms.
Oh, yeah.
She
I
had
had a lot of.
better than
She actually wore a
ADT.
wedding ring on one of our
I
first
had
dates.
so many suitors. I was so tired of that. It was too many.
Man,
it
I
was
tell
too
you,
much.
forget this business. We need to start a business called Repelling the Guys. And I'm not calling about rappelling down a cliff. course, you couldn't want to repel from some people down a cliff, that's for sure.
True.
But yes.
But I think that this goes back to what you were saying. We both put down our ideal person, and then with action, he pursued me. I know we're about to end off, but to make a long story short.
We got time.
Oh, okay, good.
It took action, man.
It took a lot of pursuing, and then so one day I found out Bill Clinton was going to be at Barnes and Noble, and he was signing books, and I was like, "We'll go there. We'll put him in our film," And I was like, "Of course, our camera got taken away at the front." But I had a picture of him because he had invited my father to play, or actually Hillary.
So he knew your dad.
Yeah, he knew my dad, and they invited my dad and his band on the White House for his birthday. And
did you go?
I didn't, but I had a photo of my dad, and so I walk up and he's just like signing books, and I show him the photo, and he goes, "Oh my God." I said, "That's my dad." And he goes, "Oh my God." And he like got all excited, gave me a hug. And Daniel was like, "Who is this girl?" For one, he's like, "Bill Clinton just hugged her. He's excited."
Right.
And then after that, like there was just so much like synergy and so much beautiful like things happening in our career. And I decided that's it. He's the one for me.
Right. You see how she said that? I decided.
Right.
Yes.
No, but he was pursuing me for a while.
So he convinced you to decide. That's right.
But I think it started with the putting the thoughts there of what you want, then in action.
No. I think he just wants to sleep overnight in the Lincoln Room. That's all. Come on, man. Really, the Lincoln Room. Come on, right?
That's funny.
But that is fun, Yeah. Bill Clinton. I mean, I'm not a big Clinton fan, okay?
Sure.
And I'm not a big fan of a lot of people that are fans of people out here normally. I'm really on the opposite side of the coin on a lot of stuff. But I don't care. You're going to shake Bill Clinton's hand, and if you can get an invite, you go. It doesn't matter. You become a hypocrite right there. I don't care. That's right. I just sold my soul. That does it, right? I mean, how fun was that, though? I mean, all of a sudden, you got this beautiful woman, right? And you're courting, and you're trying to do all the right things, and all of a sudden, she's shaking the hands of the President of the United States of America. Now, what is that? What makes that? What goes through your head?
It's amazing. Yeah. Life's cool like that. We've worked with a lot of crazy people and met a lot of amazing people, you know? Right. Like, it's just a good feeling when you have a dream and then you get to the point where like a band like Coldplay like thanks you online and suddenly there's like 10,000 likes in no time. Things like that. We've accomplished that as a couple, as a husband and wife, and it's certainly more interesting doing it as a husband and wife, getting through all the barriers of life. Yeah. Because you have each other.
At the bottom, at the end of the day, there was a movie I was watching. I can't remember the name of it, but at the end of the day, the couple was just walking down the hall, holding hands, and they each had very odd things happen to them in this particular sequence of shooting in this film, the story happening to them, and at the end of the day, it's just those two people.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's so true.
Look, you can live your life one or two ways.
Yeah.
When you meet the pearly gates and you go to wherever you think you're going to go, wherever that may be, I say heaven or hell, one or the other. My grandfather told me you can end your life in two ways. You can end your life with your boots on and your face in the mud, the blood and the beer, and with nobody around you that really cares.
Yeah.
Or you can end your life with your boots off, looking high in the sky, with no regrets, and a few people that love you around you.
That's incredible.
That's
There's only two ways to go.
You're right about that. You're right. You can really go up or down in life.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then if you think of the ending of the journey and work backwards, that's how you set your life up to accomplish the journey you want to take place.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah. I think that's kind of like back to the beginning why we created this show, is because I think there's nothing more important than realizing your dreams or having a purpose, having a goal or a dream. And so how do you do that?
Yeah.
You got to be around people that will support you to do that and you can learn from, because you got to have good examples around you.
Yeah. You got to get rid of the negative anchors.
Yeah.
That's right.
Drop them as fast as you realize that they are anchors of negativity.
Yeah.
And try to always find positive anchors around you. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you become more sensitive and your career, whatever you want to do, moves in a faster direction just because you have good thoughts in your mind.
That's right.
Versus bad thoughts having to deal. You have good thoughts in your mind. And it's all about that.
It is all about that. Yeah, that's really incredible.
It is.
There's the tip of your finger. It's there's a word for it. Starts with an M. It's you cannot see this cell unless you have a super refined and powerful microscope. It's right at the very end of your finger here, and the longest finger you have. It's right at the end, and that little cell right there, that little piece right there controls everything in your body, because that right there, the farthest tip of your finger, is what you touch first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that sets the signal, according to Chinese, that sets the signal all the way through your nervous system. And so if you're around good, you get good signals. If you're around bad, you get bad signals.
That's why you don't feel good.
That's right.
Yeah, around
so
negative.
It starts right there.
Wow.
The farthest tip of your finger.
That's incredible.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the Indians believe that they have to have their hair long, and there's a reason for it. And they did a recent study that and they did it with the talkers, the Navajo wind talkers, when they used them for secret code, so that the enemy couldn't figure out what the code. They figured out that why were Indian people, or indigenous Americans, if you want to call them that, why were they are so sensitive to danger? How come they can sense things around them that the typical other person can't sense? So they did a study. They took people of native background with long hair, and then they set up a scientific experiment, and the experiment was about danger. And the people awoke before the danger happened and were able to deal with it. Then they cut their hair off, short, and they did the same experiment. And every time, the people that had the short hair succumbed to the danger, didn't know it was coming.
Wow.
So in the follicles of the tips of long hair, that's why native people like their hair long.
Wow.
Because it gave them
perception. No.
It gave them like a radar at the tips of their hair.
Wow.
Amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So you talk about negative and positive.
Yeah.
You are really in control of it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, these types of shows, especially the show that you're putting together, helping people, especially in this crazy town, where so much craziness is happening.
Yeah.
It's good to have a place that people can go and learn something.
That's right.
Yeah, Jesse, that's what we try to do with all of our projects. We were just shooting a documentary about recycling yesterday with a really incredible, innovative company called RMG. I mean, literally recycling things you had no idea could be recycled.
Right.
And doing all kinds of things with food waste, giving it to, so animals can eat, and donating it to people.
Right.
It was amazing. And we're working on a documentary about, getting plastics out of the ocean with this organization called
Algalita. That big sea of plastics floating in the Pacific Ocean, the size of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now it's huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing how bad that thing when they fly over it.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the second teaser here of the show, and this is another trailer teaser that you put together. And I guess there's not much really to set up with it. It's just about the show, the Dream State.
Great.
And I love all the colors in the background too.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
really cool stuff. So go for it, Lee. Thanks.
Like something within me was like, you're either going to die or you're going to go to jail.
I would take the train in Atlanta down to the airport. I would sleep in the airport and act like I was waiting for a flight every night.
Oh my God.
Because I didn't have anywhere to live,
Nobody believed that graffiti was art at all. Not even the gangsters. And they were the only ones who were doing it.
It was terrifying to think about going on the air without being fucked up. Like I was always on something.
Every day that I got up, it was still the pursuit of that goal and that dream. And getting someone to believe in me was always a challenge.
I saw my dad get beat up by the police. Me constantly hassled by the police. Being an artist, I said, I need to create a language that represents me. Something that people can respect.
The Dream State is a new show that teaches you things you don't learn in film school, music school, art school, or any other school. Experience how the top creators made it to the top and apply their hard-won knowledge to reach your dream. Because in life, there's nothing more important than a dream.
When I actually go back now and I listen to how I used to sound on the radio versus how I sound now, I'm like, oh my God, I sound so much better now, and I sound so clear, and I sound like a real person.
This week, you know, I'll be with Jay-Z, I'll be with Justin Timberlake, I'll be with BB Rexha, I'll be with Cardi B.
We wouldn't have the sophistication of style that we do now. This guy is pretty much the most important person within LA's history.
Your work has to be unique, but it also has to be profound. It has to mean something.
You know, that's really cool. And we were talking off camera there about some of those people in there and their stories. They were somewhere so bad, and yet they picked their bootstraps up, and now they're somewhere so good. And that's kind of what your show is about. I like that video because that really showed the contrast.
Yeah,
That's right.
that was like our original vision for the show. You know, like our friend Divine Evans, who was literally like homeless sleeping in the airport.
Yeah.
And now it's like Rihanna, Justin Timberlake, Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, it's so cool, man.
But it's for people who are kind of down in the dumps, but they know that they've got it in them. And, well, how do I do it? They just go watch our show, and somebody's going to inspire them and get them back on track. Because, again, not just filmmakers, artists are the most important people on this planet. In my mind, I might get some kickback on that. But just because we create other realities and uplift the society, open minds, and make them think.
Well, science comes out of art because it's the imagination of a person's brain.
That's
and they're
right.
so connected together to come up with an interesting thought.
That's right.
So it's all creative.
Definitely.
True. And that's all it is. So creativity is something that God gave us as human beings that they didn't give the cheetah and the lizard. Of course, there's been many a person out there that thought I was kind of like a lizard. Lizard. It's okay. I'm reptilian. Yes. David Icke. Yes. Okay. Sorry. I get into these little tangents, you know. I'm ADD, EFG, HIJK, elemental P. I'm so messed up, I don't even know how messed up I am.
Just want to say one thing. I'm so glad that you just made a joke of that, because I don't believe in any of
Neither do I.
Thank you. Good. I don't believe it. I don't believe in labels. I think that we're all creative and are different people, and there you go. We don't have those issues.
I used to tell my mama when she was switching my butt with a switch I had to get, it wasn't me. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. And she said, yeah, whack. Thank you very much. The Dream State, everybody. What a great show. We could talk for hours. You got to come back. We have to talk some more. Maybe I can come out on the set. We can do a live remote from what you're doing, follow you around for a half hour, an hour. I do that kind of stuff.
Really?
It'd be kind of cool. I can, taste the food.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, check them out on YouTube. Big site, lots of followers. Subscribe to them. The Dream State, right?
Yeah.
.com.
Dream Team Directors.
Dream Team Directors. Okay, I got that right. And they're just terrific. You can see the wonderful creativity and the sincerity in these folks and these people. Right on, man. I love it. Thanks a lot, guys, for checking.
Thanks so much for having us on the show, man.
The Jesse T Show, baby. Woo! That's right. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya. So I need a job, okay? A little bit of some work my way.